Back to politics, because that's our family business. Kyle Melinn is with us at long last. I'm very, very happy to have him here in our Gillespie Group storefront studio, the editor of the MIRS Newsletter. Nice to see you.
Hey, it's nice to be here. Thanks, Mike.
You know, we're in the Capitol Loop here. We're broadcasting to all across the state, though, and there are people, believe it or not, who don't know what the MIRS Newsletter is, but we know because we wouldn't make a move without looking at it. What is it?
Well, the MIRS Newsletter is the daily Capitol report here in the city of Lansing. We put out a daily online newspaper, if you will, and it's read by folks whose business is state government, mostly lobbyists, association, school boards. We have a lot of big businesses read us every day. It's a paid subscription newsletter. You can't read it for free. So our client base is relatively small, but we have a lot of information in there every day, and our business is state politics. If there's anything going on in the state political circle, we know about it, or we're going to find out about it.
That means you're very powerful.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You know what I mean. I mean, there are people who want to see how it plays in MIRS.
That is one trick that politicians and parties do. They'll float a trial balloon by MIRS, will write a speculative piece, and they see what kind of traction they get. That is true.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, you've come out with this Michigan Election Guide and Almanac, which obviously is going to be very useful to us. This is
very heavy, too, isn't it?
Thorough piece of, this is a big, and it outlines all of the state, House, and Senate. Well, you tell me what's in it.
Well, yeah, that's 225 pages of every single congressional, House, and state Senate race in the state. It's biographies on just about every candidate, and we also have little profiles on governor, but most people know who they are, Secretary of State, Attorney General, even though they're decided at a convention, and the state Supreme Court candidates who are also decided at a convention, but we put some of their bios in there as well. The big selling point is the state House and state Senate races, because we have 148 of them in the state, and I didn't even know. I still got to refer to that thing, and I'll be referring to that all election cycle as to who these people are, a little background on them, and a way to contact them if you want more information.
It was just a couple days ago we were talking about the Democratic race for governor, the primary coming up. What are we now? 26 days left until the primary. And somebody, who was it up in Traverse City, was talking about, were they going to vote for the Democrats in Traverse? Oh, it was Mark Brewer. Are the Democrats going to vote for Verge Bernero, or are they going to vote for Andy Dillon in the primary? And he said that most people up in the Traverse City area said, we don't really know enough about them to make a decision. This is a place they could get that kind of information.
Well, it is a place they could get that information. And I got to say, it's going to be a very interesting Democratic primary, just because things have gotten going so late up there.
Yeah.
Undecided is winning the Democratic primary right now. And it's put Verge Bernero and Andy Dillon in a very unique spot. And this is a place where they can find out a little bit about each candidate. I think we're going to see the talk gear up here in the next couple, 2-3 weeks. It can't get any quieter, trust me. So,
yeah.
I think we're going to find out a little bit more about each of those two candidates as we get closer to the August.
Do you think maybe the undecideds just won't show up?
I think there is going to be I think we are going to see a bit of that. There is no motivating force. There is no Obama wave like there was 2 years ago, where people just couldn't wait to get to the ballot box and check that box next to Barack Obama. This is going to be a different year. I think that voters are a bit sluggish. And honestly, if you don't have a motivating factor to get you out to the polls, why go out? And so I do think we're going to see low voter turnout, even in the Republican primary, except on the west side of the state, where we have those two open congressional races, where I understand you're going to have some guests in later to talk about that.
Yeah, all of them.
That's a lot. And if you look at that book, I was stunned by how many people there really are running for Congress in the 2nd and 3rd congressional district. And we were able to track down a little bit of info on all of them. It's a heck of a process putting that thing together. Let me tell you what. Rita Lamaro, who I think you know, was instrumental in getting out a lot of our questionnaires to candidates, and they filled them out, and we put in their info. And if they didn't do that, then we went online, picked up the phone, tried to find out what we could about these people.
Serious work.
Yeah, because the folks here in Lansing, the folks that we put out the newsletter for, want to know who these people are. So when they come to Lansing, or if they're going to be making any kind of endorsements in this primary season, they know a little bit about these folks.
Are those West Michigan congressional races so hotly contested because it's presumed whichever Republican wins the primary is going to win the general?
Yes.
They're going to have 2 more Republican congressmen. It's not going to be an upset.
Correct. I mean, if you think about it, too, these are once every 10, 20-year events.
Yeah.
It's not very often they get a turnover in a congressman over there. Vern Ehlers had been there for 8 terms. Pete Hoekstra had been there since 1994, 95, something like that. And so, just think about how long that's been since they've elected a new member of Congress. And now they're electing both of them at the same time. It really has generated a lot of excitement in West Michigan.
Can people who are not subscribers buy this somewhere?
Oh, absolutely. They can call our office at 517-482-2125, 517-482-2125, and they can get their own copy of that. It's about as complete as we're going to get as far as candidates running in State House and State Senate districts.
And they can go online and probably order it as well, right, through the website if they register?
That's correct.
It's MIRSnews.com, right?
It is
MIRS
News.com.
I won't ask you ever on the program for any kind of prediction because that's kind of a silly thing to do, and you're a journalist. It's not really fair for you to say that.
Oh, that gets asked all the time.
Does it? Well, I don't like to sway people. They can make up their own minds, and if they think that Kyle Melinn thinks so and so is going to win, sometimes they might want to follow a winner, that kind of thing. But do you think it's going to get really, really bitter coming down the stretch here in the next 3 weeks? Does anybody have any July surprise?
You're talking in the governor's race? Yeah, I think they do. And I think we're going to see an escalation of the television ads in the governor's race. I mean, what you saw is Mike Cox and Rick Snyder already put in a little bit of resources on television ads. Mike Bouchard and Pete Hoekstra also have a little bit of money, just a little bit of money to run TV ads. They're running them in the last few weeks. And I think you're going to see everybody open their wallet at the last minute. And I think we are going to see a few hit ads on Mike Cox. Mike Cox's, shadow group, if you'll call it that, has been making some hits on Pete Hoekstra and Rick Snyder. And I think you're going to see them file suit.
All right. Hey, have fun. You're going to Silver Lake near Traverse City?
Yeah, I've never been there before.
Me neither.
I couldn't even find it on the map. I hope it's more than a pool.
Well, let us know when you get back.
Yeah.
In fact, you can listen to us. We're on if you want. I would imagine on vacation you want to get away from it all, but this close to the primary, you probably have to stay in touch.
It's going to be hard to dial out completely.
Well, we're glad you're dialed in, and we'll see you again soon and talk to you even sooner.
All right. Thanks, Michael Patrick.
All the best to Kyle Melinn, the editor of the MIRS Newsletter, MIRSnews.com. And you have no more excuse for saying, I don't know what's going on in state politics and the election. It's the 2010 Michigan Election Guide and Almanac from MIRS News at 35 after the hour.